to you by Shawn Porter Promotions.
Question: how do you feel about the pinky up?
I think it signifies some sort of class. I'm not a pinky up guy.
Not a pinky up guy?
No.
Sometimes mine just kind of raises itself. I don't
I
know.
feel like you hit a certain tax bracket, it just automatically
kinda goes
Exactly.
up. You retire, and then all of a sudden,
I don't even think it's the retirement. I think it's the checks that you got during employment.
My pinky's been going up for
While
a
you were
minute.
employed, that's where the checks came from.
Yeah, you look a little extra relaxed. A little more retirement level.
Told you yesterday, box rec switched you over to inactive, so that's nail in the coffin right there.
It's getting more and more real.
Yeah.
It's getting more and more real.
The feedback has been like 50-50. People were like, great, great career, congratulations. Other people were like, yo, come on, just give us one more. Kind of like you said with Andre Ward, but you're retired, so.
All right, so this, am I the only boxer that's doing a podcast?
I would assume so.
I believe so. Or
anything like, speaking a lot, especially like post-fight type stuff. Like you get post-fight from fighters and things like that, but week after the fight is like nothing but reflection.
Yeah.
Win, lose, or draw, that's all my week has been. Reflection on everything I could have done, everything I should have done, the way the fight ended. Very anticlimactic, I feel, the way the fight ended in a lot of ways. Or at least for me, when I reflect on what I could have done, to not be put in that situation, to have made the fight more competitive, even in my mind, where a lot of people were saying the fight was definitely competitive. I wanted it to be even more competitive. We're watching some great fights last night, and the only thing I could think of
Crawford Porter too.
The only thing I could think of was my fight was supposed to be exciting like this. And I think that the magnitude of my fight, like where we both are and things like that, I think made it exciting. Yeah. But I felt like there was more action last night through the course of the 7 fights that we watched.
Now I feel not guilty, but I feel better about having said multiple times, Crawford Porter. Because I kept saying going down the fight of the year.
I don't know if you recognize, but every time you said it, like I really confirmed what you were saying, because the whole night I'm just that's me. Like I'm a very reflective person, and then even beyond that, I'm very competitive to the point where I'm like, now I'm putting my fight next to the other fights that are happening and the fights that did happen and so on and so forth, and I'm just like, damn.
Still retired.
Only 1 week is full-fledged media. He's already criticizing his own fight.
Yeah.
See, you are that quick. No.
As a professional.
Do you think, will that stuff, make it hard not to come back when you reassess things and second guess? And
you know what? I don't think that it's gonna make it hard. I just think it's very, very funny, and y'all know how into movies I am. The movie that really defines kind of where I've been, literally for the last 10 years, Bad Boys 2. I love the movie. Will Smith comes in the house. This is after Martin told him he's putting in his transfer papers. Yeah. He says, "So you serious about this transfer thing, huh?" Martin looks at him and says, "I got to do what's best for my family." Will says, "Man, you've been quitting for 10 years. I just thought that was how you handle this shit." I've been handling this shit for 10 years. I've been quitting, for 10 years, and I've been pushing forward. I've been looking past whatever negative things were in my way, or whatever I was feeling mentally, physically, whatever the case may be. And I knew as I was getting to this point that this was gonna be it. So, when you say, "Hey man, any chance we'll see you back?" I'm gonna say 90% no. But on the other side of that, I will say that
that's a big ass 10%.
I'm gonna say 90% no. And my wife would probably want me to say 99%.
I would also like to say 99.
But I really don't think that I think that I've played my cards right. And I think that even from a standpoint of me announcing a retirement, I think that was done the best way it could have been done as well, So, kind of here we are. I keep hearing people say, happy retirement, all this kind of stuff. It's like, damn, I didn't you know, I guess some of us only retire one time from a job that we've done forever. You know what I mean? So
Ant didn't retire either.
No, Ant's apologies from Ant. He why the hell would you go out of town for a holiday?
Guy's living it, man.
It would be different if you're going out of town to visit family.
Yeah.
You know, did he say where he was at?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He had to get the hood pass from Barack to make sure he was good.
Right.
It's in New York City, baby.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And New York is like a big deal for Thanksgiving, right? They do the Thanksgiving parade.
Yeah, the Macy's Day
I was
Parade.
about to say, is it still the Macy's parade? So yeah, that's where he is. I sent the message. I'm like, yo, you be back, right? And in my mind, he said yeah when he actually said no. So if you miss an Ant, it's on him.
My voice garbage. I apologize. I failed you.
I can try to do some of the things he would do. Teofimo Lopez need to retire. Just kidding. That's my exaggerated version.
I'll mix in
a
table slap at some point.
Yeah.
Let's get to it though, man. I thought last night was fantastic. And again, man, I that part of me will never go. That part of me will never be void where I won't be looking at a fighter or fights, wondering or thinking about myself in the ring, you know. So definitely was the case last night. If you didn't know, a lot of fighters, win, lose, or draw, we're still thinking about, you know, the whole process even of the camp and how the fight played out, so on and so forth. So, you know, even though I am retired, I'm still very much so in the fighting mind right now, you know.
Yeah,
To start on DAZN?
I was going to close on
go
you
ahead.
reflecting real quick. And I mentioned it earlier with the second guessing, but because of how the fight ended in terms of the talks of your preparation after the fight, is it going to be hard for you to not say, well, what if I would have had the camp of my life? That in particular, is that going to be hard for you to not come back to the ring because of that reason?
You know, I thought about that a few times. And what justifies it for me is how many, not only big fights that I've been in, but hard fights that I've been in. This wasn't the first hard fight for me. This was the first hard fight for me that ended the way that it ended. So this stuff is hard, to say the least. This stuff is hard, and you know, as we continue on, this being the last fight, we'll have more moments when we'll talk about it, and I'm gonna definitely open up about some other things as we go. I don't really want to keep people, you know,
It's a tease.
I don't want to tease people, you know, but I just, you know, I feel
Stay
like
tuned next week.
the further we get away from it, I think that people will be able to accept certain things that are said or done about it or whatever. But, you know, to say the least, it's a hard sport, and I did for a long time. I gave it my all, you know, so that's what makes it easy to kind of move forward. It's like, even in that last one, no, I didn't train the way that I've always trained. But when I can reflect on how I've always trained and understood why I didn't want to do the swimming. My dad, one day, he wanted me to go from doing, I think we did like 9 rounds of sparring, 10 rounds of sparring, 24-hour fitness. He wanted me to run on the treadmill. Then he wanted me to swim. And that's been my life. The life has always been, you run long distance on the days you spar, but you also swim on the days you spar, so that you don't swim the day before you spar, so that, you know, your punching ain't what you want it to be. So it's been a heavy workload. But as you can see, it got me where I wanted to go, and it got me everything that I got, and the way I was able to perform in every fight. You know, even if you're looking at that, you say, man, yeah, you were overtraining. Why'd your dad overtrain you like that? Look at the footsteps. I mean, like, everything we did, my dad felt it was all necessary and there was purpose behind it. I feel the same way.
Feels like you guys should just do one of those underwater treadmills and spar at the same time.
Right.
Just get it all done.
Get it all at once. Yeah.
That's efficiency.
It did look like you were relieved and happy it was all over. Your career. I imagine 30 years of training and fighting. Watching that awful Browns-Lions game, you look relieved.
Here's another crazy one.
I also felt like I went through a boxing career at that point.
Here's another crazy one. I've only felt relief in 2 fights. And then I did feel relief in this fight at the post-fight press conference when I made the announcement of my retirement. When the fight with Keith Thurman, when that last bell rang, I was like, whew. And then I saw him put his hands up. I said, I can put my hands up too. I was tired. I went back to the corner and I put my hands down like this. My dad said, sit up, sit up. And I stood up, you know what I mean? Like my dad has always been about body language and stuff like that. And then the other one, Andre Berto, that was one of the like most physical fights that I've been in. And I remember when I finally stopped him, like I walked and I just stood there I was like, I'm so glad this fight is over. You know, we go through a lot. And I think that everybody, you guys benefit from what we do. I'm not saying we don't love what we do. I'm just saying it's hard, you know, and we all get there different ways. You know what I mean? So I got there my way. Bud has gotten there the way that he's gotten there. I'm sure it's not the way that I've gotten there. I know Bud personally, so I know he pushes his team. My team pushes me, you know what I mean? So we're all different, and, you know, we all hope to get to success. And another part of this podcast is going to be trying to help other guys get the success that I had and more. You know, I never look at any fighter and hope that they were any less successful than myself. I want every young fighter out there to be even more successful than I was. Two belts. I'm proud of that. I want other fighters to win 5, 6, 7, whatever their aspirations are. I want them to reach them. Let's go.
The zone. Start with the zone.
Let's do it, Carson.
Anything notable on the undercard?
Well, you know, we was flipping just a little bit. So
Fuzili came out to 1 blood, which was surprising to me, but
yeah.
And lost, which was a little surprising because he looked really good against it was an undefeated British kid he fought on that Haney undercard.
Ward.
Yeah, he looked really good in that fight. But yeah, lost this fight. Good.
Yeah, I don't think anything other than that notable. But yeah, the main event
IBF
was
champion. I'm sure Shakur would like to fight for that title, maybe unify.
Ogala, yeah.
Who I did think
Japanese
beat Farmer.
fighters, he's strong.
Kenichi, yeah.
Yeah.
And I thought he beat Tevin Farmer when he won that belt. A lot of people felt he got an unjust decision, but I thought he beat Farmer. I know Farmer would want that rematch, but these Japanese fighters are good fighters.
Yeah, stands there, strong puncher.
Yep.
Main event was what as we all expected,
Yeah.
obviously.
What I say? Knockout in 6 rounds? Is that what I said?
I don't even know how do we even go about this? Because I think maybe the easiest way is
There's a lot to unpack.
to talk about the first round. I think is a perfect microcosm.
Oh,
of
for
the
sure.
fight.
Yeah.
Because
talk about the first
Teofimo comes out. Honestly, like nobody I've really seen like was complete foot to the pedal.
Yeah.
Fully chasing him down, trying to knock him out, and then gets dropped.
Just being reckless.
Yeah, and that I think is
Deontay Wilder versus Bermain Stavern.
in the first round.
Yeah.
Are you talking about? I know what you're
To a
talking about.
rematch.
I don't remember that in the first round.
Well, I just remember him.
when he dropped him and then runs over to him. That I know what you're talking about. He dropped him and then literally ran across the ring, stepped
did a
off
little-
the side and folded him. But yeah, I think that was just the perfect example for the fight. Teofimo didn't really go out there with a game plan. He just kind of charged him. Couldn't do what he wanted to do and just blow him out and got dropped and kind of went from there.
Yeah, I thought it looked as though he came out and underestimated his opponent.
Yeah.
Something he didn't do with Lomachenko. He comes in, and he likes to use the shoulder roll and keep that left hand low, but the way he came in and walked in was very reckless.
Yeah.
It wasn't defensively responsible. He's a guy who has really good reflexes, so maybe he's thinking, whatever. And if he hits me, who cares? This guy isn't going to get my respect. He's not going to punch hard enough to warrant me having to tighten up.
Yeah.
So immediately the right hand, I didn't know George Kambosos was this sharp.
Yeah, I did. But I studied him, so I knew he was sharp. And there was not one surprise for me throughout the entire night. But we'll do the best we can to stay in this first round. I felt like Kambosos, the worst time to go at another fighter the way that Teo did is in the first round when a fighter is literally 100%.
Right.
Your reflexes, your stamina, your eyes, your coordination, everything is at 100%. And it's not like a heavyweight. Like heavyweights, you get a fast heavyweight against a slow heavyweight. The fast can come out against the slow guy, and the slow guy just can't get out of the way of all that. That right there that's lightweight against lightweight, and it's just his speed is for your speed, his quickness for your quickness, and I think that Teo really wasn't. He thought he was gonna be able to touch Kambosos much quicker than he was able to, And I think the plan backfired on him. I don't think.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
it
clear.
did.
Yeah, it's clear the plan backfired on him.
And then after the first round,
Great counter too.
I think the conversation in the corner was also kind of indicative of the fight, where Teofimo Sr. is saying, "Relax, take your time. Why haven't you finished this guy yet?" It's like, wait a second. Yeah, I said yesterday, it's like having the angel and the devil on your shoulders, where it's like one's like, go faster, and the other one's like, whoa, slow down.
Yeah.
And it, I don't want to say that was a panic, but there wasn't like a, hey, slow down, do this. It was just go, come on, knock him out. It was just ill prepared, I think.
Never happened to me as a professional, but as an amateur, I remember one time, first round, stuff just was not clicking. It was the first round amateur fight. My dad gets in the ring and he says, okay, are you done? And I was appalled. I'm like, I was like, what you mean am I done? He said, are you done BSing? Okay, this is what you need to do. And he told me what I needed to do. In some ways, he kind of calmed me down out of whatever it was that I was headed towards. And we won the fight. When a fighter does not come out and fight the way you expect them to, the way you train them to, I don't know if they train for that. Sound like, by the way, he's saying, hey, why get this guy out of here?
To knock him out.
Sound like that was how they trained. But if that didn't work in the first round, and on top of that, you got dropped. Okay, let's. The drawing board starts now.
Rein it in.
Yeah, the drawing board starts now. Let's wipe all that off, and let's put the KO at a little bit further down the line, and let's get back to the jab. Let's get back to some feigning and things like that. We could see that whenever Tio used his jab, it was effective. He would do one jab, land, two jabs, land. Maybe that third one would land, and then after that, Kambosos took it away from him. But Kambosos got into the rhythm of Tio coming right at him. And once TL settled down and just jab, land, move around some more and set something up. And I just think that, I just think maybe, if we're talking preparation, I feel like preparation may have gotten the best of them and them underestimating Kambosos. I knew Kambosos was explosive. I knew that Kambosos would try to go punch for punch. The fact, I mean, he talks about his Spartan blood. Takes a lot of pride in that.
Yeah.
And what we know from the movie 300, because we don't know much beyond that, at least not me. I don't know if anybody, but what we do know is that they don't take steps back.
Yeah.
They're always willing to fight and go forward. And so you can assume that any fight this guy is in the future, understanding that Spartan blood means at the least, I'm going to punch with you. And whatever happens, happens. And we even saw that through the course of the night where Kambosos, I'm like, yo, you should probably move.
Take it down a little bit.
Yeah. And he's like, I got to punch. I have to fight, So.
I thought at some point that Spartan blood would get him in trouble.
You said that.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But I didn't. His defense was really sharp. Everything, he boxed the fight of his life.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned Teofimo got all the stuff that Teo needed to adjust to and start doing. He did from the opening bell.
Yeah.
He was on his P's and Q's. And even though Teo got the jab going later in the fight, he out jabbed Teofimo with that beautiful up jab he was throwing all night from the hip. And counter punching was there, and the defense was there, and the movement was there. I'm having a brain fart now.
Was it
But
kind of a perfect storm of like
it was a perfect storm.
Teofimo bad performance.
Say that again.
Perfect storm.
I believe your love.
Yeah.
Perfect storm. Like Tio, clearly not his best performance or anywhere close to it. Kambosos, really good
And he
performance.
benefited from it, yeah.
Layoff, Tio, weight cut. Like it just seemed like everything worked out, and that's what we got. How did you score it?
I don't think that's making excuses either or taking away from Kambosos. I think it's fair to diagnose it.
I think it was
that
mostly
way.
Kambosos, though.
Yeah.
That won it.
Yeah, because he
More
was so
than
much.
Tio lost it. How did you score it?
114, 112 Kambosos.
Yeah.
Could see 115, 111 as well.
Yeah, and that's how I had it. Love Tio. You made an ass out of yourself after the fight. Sorry.
Yeah.
Like you didn't win that many rounds. You didn't win. The crowd
My dude said
the crowd
I won
booed
10
you.
10 rounds to 2.
Yeah, and I was just like, and I think he's really is a good kid. And,
For sure.
And I don't know if it was just heat of the moment. You handed your first loss.
Hey, you know what's funny? Because we've talked before about how I've said that my dad said some fighters shouldn't be interviewed after a
afterwards,
fight.
yeah.
So in the ring after my fight, I'm standing there. I'm like, they were taking long to interview me, and I was like, I started thinking
Trying
about
to
it. I was like, let's just go. I don't know if y'all saw that, but we went all the way to the other side of the ring and they ran me down and Bernardo wanted to get the interview. And so I started like talking to myself, like, don't say these silly shit that's going to come back on you. Like, just be yourself and be cool and handle the situation. I think that it speaks for itself. Some fighters just should not interview after fights. You're kind of not in the right frame of mind. Tio, I'm seeing fake over. You know what I mean? Everybody's going to play on they're going to play on them now. Yeah. And, you know, a part of the takeover for him was, I can't leave this ring without letting everybody know that the takeover is still here. But it's just, you know, it really wasn't the time.
I have an interesting parallel for you. I was thinking this yesterday. Shawn Porter, Kell Brook.
No.
Let me paint the picture. So you win your belt against Devin. You have this huge performance against Paulie. Blew him out. You were the welterweight Mike Tyson.
Right.
Greatest fighter of all time.
Right.
Kell Brook kind of underestimated him, to be fair. Kell Brook, great performance.
Overseas.
Hands you your first loss.
Yeah, I see the parallel now.
Yeah. One thing.
You're talking about fighting him.
Oh, no.
And I thought it looked like he was actually going to pull it out from the fire in the 10th round when he dropped Kambosos.
Whoa.
Yeah. But one thing Kambosos exposed a little bit with Lopez, technically, you know, technical skills wise, is I remember, you know, I picked Lopez to beat Lomachenko because it was a good style matchup. Lomachenko can't fight going backwards; it's side to side in. And I always I always thought that Tio is a more natural counterpuncher. He's better when the guy's coming to him. When he has to go and get you, he has a little bit of the problem Canelo had at his age, which is, I'm the fat, I have speed, I have reflex. I'm the talented fighter. So I'm not used to having to sell out and go hunt for my food. It comes to me. I'm the talented guy. I could stay where I'm at. And as long as they're in range, I'm going to win. But against these guys who know how strong you are, they're not just going to come in range with you, and he's going to have to go get them. And that's going to be harder as he moves up in weight with taller, longer fighters. And they're not going to want to exchange with him because of his, you know, he's a strong kid. He's got power in both hands. So I do think Kambosos exploited that a little bit. That's something he's got to work on, cutting off the ring behind that jab.
And let's not forget, like, I saw explosion from both these dudes. Like, they both were really explosive last night. But let's not forget, a Tio Lopez who's prepared and in his right mind can close the distance and be very explosive, one of the most explosive fighters out there. You know what I mean? So you're talking about moving up to 140. I think that he's just got to recalculate some things, calm himself down, and get back to doing what he loves to do, how he loves to do it. I think that this is the one. I think this one is gonna definitely gonna hurt his pride, and you know, I think that he's definitely needs to take some time to heal from this loss. I mean, it was a loss, not an ugly loss where he got beat down and nothing like that. But at the same time, the way you talk, the way your dad speaks. The way the build up and all of those things, it's kind of like it came crashing down on him. And I just think that, you know, when he gets back and he, you know, recoups from all this, I think once he shows face in the interviews in the next month, I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good
if he's honest. I think if he's good, he says, "Hey, I watched it," and I'm like,
he's got to be honest. But from what we know, I don't expect him not to be. So we'll see what happens. But again, you know what I mean? You talked it up. And a lot like another parallels, Adrian Bronner. There were times where AB just needed to pull back a little bit from who he's shown us and be who he is, and he wasn't able to do that. A lot of
people showed the Pacquiao Broner interview and said this was pretty much Teofimo.
Wow.
Well, along those lines, there's one thing I worry about for Brooklyn fighters. There's a little bit of a pattern here that's a little troubling because Tyson, Zab Judah, Riddick Bowe, all undisputed champions before the age of 25 and looked like they were poised to have a really long, great run. And unfortunately, despite their great talent and becoming undisputed, it came crashing down a lot sooner than it should have. Even Hector Camacho, who wasn't from Brooklyn, but he's from New York. I mean, those are four guys there. It's just something something you worry about with a really talented guy from New York.
Boy, bad. Boy, bad. Pay attention to this one.
Because they're these guys who are seemingly deep thinkers.
Yeah.
And become their own worst enemies.
Yeah.
And that's what Lopez did to himself in this fight. So, but he's still a generation, I'd call it generational talent, crazy talent. So I think he could win a rematch, but it's almost like the cruel irony is you're not going to get one. And it's funny coming off of not wanting to give Lomachenko his rematch. Yeah.
You gotta bridge that gap. You know what I mean? Because like for me, coming up in the game and seeing everything I've seen, I talk to y'all all the time about how certain regions, the fighters fight a certain way, and you can expect this and you can expect that from certain fighters. The gap there now in that Brooklyn, Bronxville area, and you're saying that these guys found great success at early ages and then kind of it came crashing down very quickly. Where's the gap there? You know what I mean? And why is that happening to those fighters? You know, I don't want to label T.O. and put him in the box, you know what I mean? But that's now 4 guys who are all from the same area, got some great success at an early age, and, you know, the record speaks for itself, you know? So the best part about it is it's not over for T.O., and he's got a chance to come back and, you know, right your wrongs and things like that. You know, I think that maybe that's why I think people may think that I take losses easy, and it's not so much that I take them easy, it's just that really quickly I reflect and I'm like, all right, this is what I need to do to be better. And so I think that if fighters were given more opportunities to be better, you'd see them up against another great young explosive fighter, and whatever happens. But if they're given that next opportunity to prove their greatness again or right their wrongs or things of that nature, I think that we would see a wave of great young talent getting in the ring with other great young talent.
Just move up to 140, do your thing. Kambosos, defend your belts at 35.
He says he's been sucking it out.
Yeah,
you know, and
it looked like it.
He's a big dude. He is. He's a big kid.
Yeah.
He's a big young kid, 24. And so, yeah, it's worth it for him to move up to 140.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's also worth it to find a nutritionist, find dietitians and
Maybe
things like that.
bring back Joey Gamache.
Yeah, the corner needs to be better.
Corner needs to be better.
It is what it is. Like, just Joey Gamache they said he was like the tactics guy. Mm-hmm. T.O. Sr., not a lot of tactics yesterday. A lot of motivation, which sometimes that's what you need.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
A little bit of a cautionary tale of what not to do when you get to the top, I guess. And yeah, it is. But, you know, Teofimo and his father are better than what they showed over Saturday night. I think his dad is a good coach. He did scout Lomachenko perfectly, prepared him perfectly for that fight. So I don't want to, you know, just...
We're not burying either.
Yeah. I know. I know you're not either.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll see. We'll see what happens going forward. He's still a great talent.
Showtime undercard.
Well, hold up.
What about who should Kambosos fight next?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I gotta give
Does
some
he
love
go
to
to pay-per-view
Kambosos.
with Tank?
Rightfully
Does
so.
he stay on DAZN with Devin? Does Top Rank try to throw the bag to get Lomachenko in
Come
there?
on.
Or even somehow say, hey, Tio, can you suck down to 35 one more time? Maybe we could throw him the bag and get you a rematch. But
I want it to be Lomachenko so bad.
Question number one.
I want Haney to get his shot.
Of course.
Yeah.
Is Kambosos better than you thought he was?
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely.
1,000,000%.
1,000,000%
Sorry,
better than
George.
you thought he was.
Absolutely. I
Okay.
just wasn't that familiar. I mean, he went life and death with a very seasoned Mickey Bay, child of Cleveland's own. But
Split decision with Mickey Bay.
yeah, so I'm like,
And Lee Selby.
And
Yeah.
then so the question beyond that is, was this a night for him? Do you think this was a night for him?
that's why
This is the biggest night of his career.
that's why I
he'll
think
ever
it
have,
goes
do
back
think.
to my perfect storm comment because I think it
Yeah.
was like Zittel said, fought the fight of his life. Tio not at his best. He had these weird delays. It just
I
think
feel like the
everything kind of all
delays really helped Kambosos.
And I love Kambosos saying, hey, for this next fight, come see me in Australia.
Yeah.
Like,
I
got
feel
my
like
win.
Haney, he's better than we thought he was, but I still think Haney and Davis were licking their lips.
Probably. Yeah. And Shakur even was kind of like,
Right.
hey, I'd like to like the opportunity to win those belts at some point. So, I underestimated him for sure.
Willie, okay, and then the last question for Kambosos. Do you think he'll hold on? Do you think he'll sustain? Remember, I talked about Ugas. I said, Ugas, you got to win one. In order for me to look at you as a champion, you got to win one. Do we think that he can hold on to these belts?
Who does he fight next? Is a very my answer.
Yeah.
If he fights Tank or Devin Haney, no, he doesn't. That's not the worst thing.
Right.
Again, generational talents.
Yeah.
But if he gets, not a lighter touch, but if he gets maybe a little bit of stay busy fight
Remains to be seen, huh?
Yeah.
I like him.
100%.
I like his skill. I like his talent. I like his
heart.
I like his heart. His frame of mind in the ring.
Loved it.
Thought he was good thought he was good in the interview when Tio's kind of doing a little much. He was kind of like, hey.
He taught me a lesson once again in boxing. Don't underestimate guys, and also when someone speaks from their chest, really speaks from their heart, you got to heed it a little bit, even if they're not going to pull it off.
Yeah.
It was so obvious that he had such belief in himself, and he was prophetic.
Yeah.
He did to Teofimo what Teofimo did to Lomachenko. He told him exactly what was going to happen. He told him, "You're not prepared for this fight. You're cutting. Your weight is off for this fight. You're not taking it. So you're coming down from a big emotional high. I'm as hungry as they get. You're going to get upset."
Yeah.
And anytime someone really speaks from their heart like that, more times than not always, they deliver.
Right.
Yeah.
With that conviction.
Right.
So shout out to George, man. He's smarter than I thought he was, sharper.
Right.
I knew he was tough.
I like the corner too. The corner seemed calm, seemed ready for the moment.
Very different. Again, not to keep on to Teofimo Sr., but Kambosos' dad, they were delivering instruction in the corner. Hey, do this, do this. It wasn't just a kind of a rah-rah. Hey,
well, they treated Tio like Godzilla coming into the fight.
Yeah.
They and the opposite from Lopez.
Yeah.
He was saying things like, when I finish knocking out this idiot,
right.
Haney tanked and us media guys, that's all we want to talk about is the next fight.
And again,
so
and look at the odds. This wasn't just like a few people overlooking it. The odds had him as a massive underdog. So this wasn't like we were just like, I don't really know this guy. Like, they just didn't.
I wrote him off.
I was 100% incorrect. Shawn says now that he scouted him, wasn't surprised, but he was a little quiet last week when we talked about it.
He did mention the Spartan blood, that he's a believer.
Didn't say anything else.
I was coming off a fight. I don't even remember talking about this. I don't remember talking about this fight. I swear to God. Hey, swear to God, when the fight
threw out a Spartan blood and then when
the fight was coming on, I was like, I swear I was like, why didn't we preview this last week?
Unreal.
We did 8 times already.
That's funny. Yeah, that too. But I was like, why didn't we preview this last week?
Unreal. But we do have a
great guy too. George,
seems
very humble, very good guy.
Lost his grandfather. He said he didn't get a chance to really grieve yet, so I guess to grieve, but either not undisputed, but unified.
Yeah.
135. But
now comes the money. There's pay-per-view money with Tank, or the big DAZN money with Devin.
Get all of it.
He's probably going to want to go home first and get a title defense.
Rightfully so.
But who knows?
And Lou DiBella is promoting him.
Nice.
So, Lou's going to get that money.
Bring Lou back.
Yeah.
That's my guy. I like Lou.
So, moving into Showtime. We also have some fights this weekend we'll get to. But Showtime, undercard, I thought Gary Antonio Russell lost.
I did too.
But he won, so congrats.
I thought he lost too.
Yeah. Close fight, though. Not a blowout either way, but close fight. Ray Salim did what he was supposed to do. Yep. Another maybe tougher fight at times than he maybe anticipated. But
when you win a fight with a largely Mexican American crowd and you beat a Mexican fighter and they didn't boo you out the building,
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah, you did what you were supposed to do.
I think they also respected the style in which he was fighting.
Yeah.
They enjoyed it. It was crowd pleasing fight.
And man, that you talk about a crowd pleasing fight. That main event, it was almost like they made a deal that they were never going to be outside of arm's length of each other. Because you never really saw times where Fulton did a little bit, was on his back foot.
Yeah.
But Figueroa wasn't just letting him fight off his back foot. That was, fight of the year maybe?
Yeah.
Gotta
I
be
can
up
see
there.
that.
I can't. Fury Wilder just ruined it for everybody else.
Yeah, set a high bar for sure.
5 knockdowns in a heavyweight championship fight. You're not going to beat it. Sorry.
The action in this fight was
more sustainable.
Was unbelievable. Brandon Figueroa's gas tank is unreal.
Yeah.
And then on the other side of that, Fulton, cool boy Steph, the way he's able to just weather those storms and manage to not get wild with Figueroa, or not just punch with Fig, because Fig is punching too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that was the separation in this fight in terms of scoring, was that Cool Boy Steph, I think his punch placement and his punch selection was just slightly better. Well, the selection was better than Brandon Figueroa's, but I think that his landing rate was a little bit cleaner. And I think that
I thought a lot of it
from a
cleaner.
judging standpoint, I think that you could see a lot more of it landing for Cool Boy Steph. You know, I thought he deserved a victory.
Close ass fight, though.
I thought both guys deserved a victory.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I do know something about boxing.
You were sweating that out.
Oh, Lord.
I was telling you a day or two. I was like, Shawn, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, we picked Fulton, but we were in the group chat, and I'm like, this kid is coming.
Yeah.
He is relentless.
Yeah.
And he was. I describe him, he's like an avalanche. Like, no matter what's happening, he just keeps rolling downhill. And you're just like, Cold Boy Steph is fighting off his back foot. He's landing nice, counter uppercuts. But Figueroa didn't say, whoa, man, I got caught with a clean shot.
Yeah.
He was like, okay.
Yeah.
We throw 10 body punches to match that. But close fight. I thought Fulton probably edged it out.
It was a very close fight.
Yeah.
That fight was close. And like I said, I was mad. I was like, please make this a draw, because both dudes deserved a victory.
Yeah, wouldn't have been
You know
mad
what I
at a
mean?
draw. I would have been not mad, but I would have been surprised by a Figueroa win slightly. Then Figueroa said he, won decidedly.
Yeah.
And the crowd didn't agree with him. I don't think either you were there, but
No, it had a little shade of Meldrick Taylor Chavez to it, where I'm scoring rounds for Fulton. Not quite like Chavez Taylor, where Meldrick's winning every single round, but it's like he's winning rounds, but he's taking more punishment than Figueroa is. Although, I mean, the face of Figueroa might say otherwise. Figueroa, I felt like, lost this fight because he was never able to bring it from the body up top to the head. To Stephen Fulton's credit, he didn't let that happen.
Yeah.
His body shots were heavy. He has heavy hands to the body.
Yeah.
And great uppercuts to the body. He really knifes them in there, but Fulton just landed by far the cleaner punches to the chin.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what judges are going to look for, is clean head punches over body shots, and he did that.
This might be really stupid. This might be a really stupid opinion by me, but is it possible he needs to throw less punches, Figueroa? Just because if you're in these rounds and Stephen Fulton is clearly landing the cleaner shots, I think the refs see that you're throwing a lot of punches, but you're missing a lot of punches. Do you think maybe if the quality battle, if he just throws less punches and is a little more concise, he's gonna fight the way he fights. That's great, and it's a good, it was a close fight. But I just think maybe if he threw less punches, but was a little more direct with his punches, it might help him.
I thought his biggest issue was Fulton just clinching so well. It was some of the best. Clinching is a skill. And I thought that was
Kell Brook fight.
That was
nobody better than that.
I didn't think it was quite Kell Brookian either.
Who's right now off the top best clincher in boxing? Go. Who you got?
Floyd was the best. He really, I mean that. He was good. I don't know. That was the best clinching display I'd seen. Fulton every time got his back off the ropes, wouldn't let him tee off, and walked him back to the center ring. Probably surprised him with his strength a little bit there.
Kell Brook had Shawn in hell with those clinches. He had him like Pelican Bay locked up. But that was, I just think maybe it was the over punching a little bit and a little wild at times. And
do you sorry to cut
No,
you.
you're good.
Do you think Brandon Figueroa hurt him a couple of times?
Yeah, he did.
Absolutely.
In the 10th, he hurt him.
not 5 or 6 times like he said, but he definitely.
My dude said, I laughed.
I feel like if you asked
How
him
you
10
keep
minutes
a
later,
count of
it
how
would've
many
gone-
times you hurt
if
somebody?
they asked him 10 minutes later, it would have gone up to like 15. He would have been
he
like,
said, I hurt you 5 times. I was like, how do you know?
he definitely hurt him a couple
5.
times.
Like, why did you pick the number
And
5?
Stephen Fulton's been hurt in his career a couple of times. I mean, was it Adam Lopez that stumbled his ass back to the ropes? So, I mean, I think he was hurt, but yeah, I don't
You
think it
said
was
stumbled
that.
his ass.
Yeah, he caught him with a shot. He stumbled all the way back to the ropes, but that was it was a good fight.
Thank God he's from Philly.
Yeah.
That was one of the last reasons why I picked him, because I'm like, how's he mentally going to hold up to this pressure? And then I was like, he's from Philly, so he'll be all right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it was a good performance, and again, I think
best 122 pounder in the game.
Yeah, kind of similar to Kambosos. I think we underestimated Figueroa going into the Neary fight. I don't think we underestimated him going into this one because I think he did what we thought he was going to do.
Yeah.
But I think he beats a lot of guys at 122.
Oh, 22
Figueroa.
and 26, he's a problem because his size. I think at 130 is where he'll plateau a little bit. He'll start fighting guys.
Here's a good fight. You want to hear this one?
Never ready.
Figueroa and Navarrete at 126.
Crazy fight.
That is the least defensive fight in history. I think Navarrete
And I don't know who
ices
wins.
him at some point.
You think Navarrete wins? I don't know. That's a tough fight.
That fight, they talk about the offense going up in the NFL and basketball. That's the equivalent of this. There's going to be no defense in that fight. It's going to be Figueroa walking forward, throwing to the body.
It's an all-star game.
Navarrete just firing uppercuts from 6 feet away. But
Damn, I love
Too bad
to see
it'll
that.
never happen.
I love to see that.
I know.
I think both of them would beat Akhmadaliev, in my opinion.
I did too.
He's hanging on to those other 2 belts though.
Yeah, I mean, he's supposed to have fought Rais Salim already.
Yeah.
Who
Who do you
but
think
hasn't.
Who do you think Fulton fights next?
Rais is calling them out.
I'd like to see Danny
That's-
Roman.
Both good fights. It looks like you would think Showtime was setting up him to fight Rais Salim.
Right.
That's why they
That's
fought
what it
on the
looks
same
like.
card. Yeah.
Twice now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a good fight.
Yeah.
It's a good fight. I favor Fulton.
I do as well.
Yeah.
I think the Roman fight's a good fight. Mm-hmm. I would love to see him get MJ, but I don't know if that happens. I think Figueroa just move up to 126. He's such a big kid at 122. Like, go up to 126, let yourself breathe a little bit.
Him and Gary Russell's a good fight.
Oh, of course, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's another one. There's going to be a lot of offense.
Oh, the first Gary, the oldest Gary.
Yes.
Yeah.
The WBC featherweight champ.
Mr.
Mr. Gary
Russell.
Russell.
But yeah, there's fights to be made. I'd like to see that.
Mr. Gary Russell and Brandon Figueroa.
That's a good fight.
That's a great fight.
Yeah.
That's a
A
great
lot of offense, man.
Yeah, buddy.
Figueroa is not going to be an important fight.
No.
Just based on his style.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a matter of, like we said, Stephen Fulton had to stand up to a lot because that dude was just going to keep rocking forward. Really good instruction. I apologize. I can't think of his trainer's name, Fulton. I know his dad was in his corner, but he said, hey, put him on his back foot. He doesn't fight well off his back foot. And in the beginning of that round, got out early, got him on his back foot and did really well. So
I feel like that was another part of the fight that really helped Fulton win was he got out at the beginning of every round.
Yeah.
And then there were some rounds that ended closely, but the way that he was able to get out and control the beginning to the middle of every round. Near the middle was when that stuff started to fall apart.
Yep.
As it should. I mean, Brandon Figueroa is just not gonna stop coming forward. I have to salute Brandon Figueroa. I don't know if I seen disrespect or like I don't care about the dude and think that he ain't got no skills or whatever, but I saw it all last night.
Yeah.
And with Luis Neary, I felt like it was a lot of Neary really quitting in the moment and where he could have kept fighting. But moving forward, and then before that, it was like Brandon just jumps on everybody. He overwhelms them, and then fight's over. In this fight, you could see there's method to his madness, and there's more skill involved than just him coming at somebody. And so I want to salute Brandon Figueroa for that. I thought that Fulton would just box step around. And Brandon Figueroa will end up walking into something. Was not the case. Brandon's not going to give you that room to step around. He's not going to give you, even when you do step around, he's not going to give you the angle you want.
Do you think
know what I mean?
Steph could have more stepped around and created more distance?
I don't think so.
Because
I think he fought the best he could
I think
fight.
he'd have got overwhelmed if he tried to outbox him.
There were times where I kept thinking, I feel like you really could give yourself some air here.
Yeah.
You really could just pivot off, get some space. I think that's
Because he's one of because Brandon's one of those kind of guys that even though there's space, he's punching coming forward.
Yeah.
He's not really just
Closes down
stepping at you.
I think I underestimate how good he cuts the ring off.
Yeah, me too.
Because there were times where I was like, just give yourself some air, and
he doesn't get. Brandon's not going to just give you the angle.
He might be the most
Even if he's just
conditioned-
pawing, he's
he might be
keeping
the most
something in your face.
conditioned boxer in the game right now.
He's most
Incredible
Has to be.
condition.
Over
Has to
1,000,
be.
and it's not just over 1,000 punches. He's throwing huge body shots. He's the aggressor, so he's throwing those punches and walking you down the whole time. But that fight was kind of what we expected, and it delivered.
It delivered.
We were hoping it was going to be that, and it was that.
I like how he switches when he gets in close too.
Yeah.
As a southpaw, I think
He just wants every angle for body shots. There's no way you feel good waking up after fighting him.
But again, I'll raise my hand. I'd seen him switch in previous fights. I'm just like,
okay, you're just doing it.
He's fighting because that foot ended up being in the foot. You know,
That's funny.
But in this fight, you could see where he was able to use that back foot, bring it up forward, and cut off the ring and prevent Fulton from even being able to roll off of the ropes. You know,
Nasty body shots.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
they both
body
as tough
shots,
as they come.
Absolutely.
Last night, man.
Yeah.
They were.
Both prove that they're the top of the game.
Wouldn't mind seeing it again at some point too. But
I wouldn't either. I don't
Yeah.
think we will, just based on Figueroa. I think moves up. I think Cool Boy Steph still got them some time there, 22. But
I tell you what, Inoue, one of the top 5 fighters in the world.
Right.
I'd keep him away from Stephen Fulton.
not get crazy now.
I would.
Way.
Keep Cool Boy Steph away from the
They don't
monster.
want that.
I love when they show the
Not
monster.
saying he couldn't beat him.
Yeah.
You know, but I wouldn't put it unless there was some
different kind of
money
fight.
on the table.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a different kind of fight.
Yeah.
body punching.
Preparation is just different. You know what I mean? And you got so much to prepare for with Stephen Fulton. He's the kind of guy who can switch up his style, and you just don't know which Stephen Fulton's coming to the ring.
Yeah.
You know?
I wish they could get the monster in there at 22 against some of these guys, like Cool Boy Steph, Roman, like the guys we listed. Even Akhmadaliev, I think that's a good fight. Throw him in there. I think he beats him. Monster being the winner, but yeah, I think just getting him involved, I think would be cool. But
It's just something I'm planting the seeds for. They both got, good fights for them in their divisions, but at some point,
just do it.
if Steph is a real natural 122 like you were at 47, like he's going to be there for a minute, then I want to see that fight at some point. Just not if I'm Inoue's manager. But
I want Cool Boy Steph and Rigondeaux, but the Revolution lives on.
No.
They showed him yesterday. I don't know what fight
on TV.
What fight were we watching? That was 118 yesterday.
the Revolution was televised?
Yeah, it was. It was somebody was fighting at 118, and it said notable contenders.
It was Russell.
Russell, yeah, and they said Guillermo Rigondeaux.
Russell
Come
Jr.
on.
Jr.
Oh, he was there?
No, they showed
No,
him
it's
on
just
the
the list.
graphic.
Yeah.
It was
Okay,
like
okay.
notable contenders. I was like, Rigo.
Showtime's so nice.
Yeah,
They're like, we're still going to put you on the graphic.
Hell yeah.
We're not that mad at you.
and he's still beating a lot of guys.
still-
Meanwhile, I was like, "You're still there?
Oh, he's holding strong, baby. He's holding strong.
Was he 18-2 in 20 years?
Man, they
Slow played him.
They're
Crazy.
rewatching the 04 Olympics. They rewatched the Donaire fight. They love Nonito. You're going to have fans that rewatch
Donaire-
the Keith Thurman fight 27 times.
Donaire needed a map to get to Rigondeaux that night. He couldn't find him. But 2 fights this weekend, big fights. Who wants to start? Who wants to
Yes.
start it?
I'll start.
Go ahead. Which one?
I'll say, because I got to see
Start
Devin.
with Saturday first?
Haney and Diaz.
ahead.
I'll be covering that fight. Is Shawn, well, we'll get to that, right? If you're covering it as well.
Waiting on the contract.
Got it.
Allegedly.
Get the numbers right. Anyways, get the numbers right. Damn it. But that's more important than anything I'm about to say. But no, I got the privilege to see Haney spar. Think it was either this past Monday or the last Friday right before it, about a week ago. And I'm kind of known as a Haney guy, a guy who believes very much in his future. And what I saw from him in sparring was a different fighter. I just saw his skill set blossoming. I just saw him blossoming. He's gotten a lot better. He got about 50% better from the Gamboa fight to Linares fight, and I see a similar improvement from Linares to this. He really looked dynamite in sparring. That's the best word I could put it, is blossoming. Everything. And then really subtle, important things. I don't know, maybe it's Ben Davison and his father working on it, but even really subtle, important things like his stance has tightened up. His balance looks better. So it's not just blossoming in terms of, he's got this new look with the right hand, or he got this new tool in the box. It's even the important foundational
His
stuff.
whole base, the base,
Right.
the bulk.
So I'm expecting
Stronger.
Right. The
Love
base.
that.
His legs look stronger than
Yeah.
ever. The boy is growing into it. So
Yeah.
I got him. He's going to be a real welterweight one day.
Yeah.
He's a big lightweight.
Yeah.
And so I'll say this: if Devin doesn't show out and look as good as I really think he's gonna look against the top fighter in Jojo Diaz, I'll chill. I'll chill a little bit because I'm very confident based on what I saw in sparring. Although he's got a good fighter in his prime in front of him, that this is the fight where Haney makes everyone a believer again, or if they never were a believer. I really believe
Dreams
that.
come true.
And the dream about to come true. And he's got great timing coming off of Lopez losing and fighting the night before Gervonta. So I'm expecting a big time performance from Devin Haney in this fight. He looked tremendous, and Jojo's really good, but I just feel like Devin's length is going to be too much for him. And
I believe that.
And he knows how, like you did with Terrence, he knows how to throw that right hand against the southpaw. So I'm expecting a big performance.
And then let's also, you've been basically watching, not really covering, but watching Devin since he's about 13 or 14.
You and your father introduced me to him.
He's about 13 or 14.
He was 15.
He was 15 when he started. So, I mean, I'm just backing up the fact that you it's like coming from Cleveland. Like, how am I not going to support the Browns?
Yeah.
I don't care where I end up. Like, I don't care who they're playing against. I'm supporting the Browns.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same for you in the sense that you walk into these community gyms, these gyms that are right here in your community, and you see something great, you're like, man, I got to support this kid. This kid is going to be the next guy, you know? And I agree. I think that length, I think that skill, speed, I think that this fight is really on Devin's side. And it's up to Jojo to go in the ring, be aggressive, be mean, and disrupt any and everything that Devin wants to do to be comfortable. I really don't think that can happen. I don't. But with that being said, I do think that this is going to be an exciting fight. I think that Devin's going to make it exciting. I think that Jojo's going to make it exciting. So I'm looking forward to it.
I said it after Jojo fought Fortuna, and I'll reiterate it now. I don't think he wins a round versus Devin.
You did say
I
that.
think Devin shuts him out.
You said that. Yeah.
I think Devin,
that's what you
I think
said.
Devin shuts him out or
Yeah.
stops him.
Yeah.
Jojo is really good. He beats a lot of those guys at that weight, no question. I just don't see how he gives Devin trouble.
It's crazy. It's like you probably shouldn't even say anything because you said it all before.
Like body
It's like
punching,
deja vu right now.
like his body punching is good. He goes to the body well. He did against Fortuna. He did against Tevin Farmer, Gary to an extent as well.
He's got a really good foundation.
Yeah, I think Devin's big.
But then when we talk
and
levels,
his hands
like,
are so fast. And Fortuna was piecing Jojo up a little bit with his hand speed, and I think Devin's got exponentially faster hands than Javier Fortuna. So yeah, I think it's a blowout.
Yeah.
Although KP told me once that when he was helping get these kids ready for the Olympics, he said Jojo Diaz was the most technically skilled fighter I was coaching at that time.
Yeah, that was the 2012 Olympic team my dad was a part of. I think he done 2, if not 3 international trips with Jojo Diaz. And every time he came home, he was talking about Jojo Diaz, and he was talking about Errol Spence Jr., and he was talking about Ramirez as well.
Jose
Ramirez
right.
as well. Those 3 guys, my dad was coming home telling me about.
He's pretty on the money.
Yeah, those were the 3 guys. My dad I think it was JoJo first actually, and then it was Errol Spence, and then it was Ramirez. When my dad's coming home and he's telling me about these young guys, I'm like, okay, cool, Dad. I'm glad you had a good time, and you getting this experience. But those were the 3 guys that he put.
I think you mentioned it, I think this is a statement win for Devin. I think we've seen good performances. Beats Gamboa. That fight was just ugly, mainly from Gamboa's side. But
we talked about Boots Ennis. What is Boots Ennis? What's Boots Ennis's next move? And you kind of need that signature win that tells the world, like, all right, let's back up off of this dude and let's give him what he's ready for. This is that fight that. As long as Devin performs the way we expect him to perform, the way I think he's going to perform, this is that signature win that says, I'm ready for a belt. I've been through the fire, and here I am. What are you going to give me? And I'm ready for it now.
Because Jojo, by no means washed, still at 28, 29.
Oh, yeah, in his prime.
In his prime still.
Maybe he's a 130 pounder, over 130, but whatever.
Yeah, but I just think, I don't think, I think it'll be difficult for people to poke holes in this.
Yeah, no, you can't poke holes.
There's
in
other
this
fights where you're like, that guy was washed.
one. No, this is the one.
Yeah, so I think he destroys him.
Yeah, this is the one.
But Jojo, very technical, very good fighter, and like I said, beats a lot of guys at the weight. But
Yeah,
Devin Haney he's the dream.
yeah.
Nah, Hakeem Olajuwon, that's the true dream, the greatest dream of all time. But
And I got a call. The zone wants me to work that fight. So
I think that's what he was indicating
yeah.
with the numbers.
damn, I can't say it again.
Okay. Well, if the number,
They
if the
probably
numbers
have
don't-
missed it.
Well, if the numbers don't come back right, you're not gonna.
No, the numbers will come back right. The zone
Come on,
will
Eddie.
do the right thing. So
Yeah, it'll be a good time. Jessica McCaskill's on the undercard. Montana Love, Cleveland Zone will be on
And
the
he looked
building.
good his last fight.
Yes, we'll see if he can keep the momentum rolling. And then Sunday,
boom.
Tank.
Vontae Tank Davis.
This
I
dude.
also saw him spar.
Yeah.
You may have.
Oh yeah.
We ever talk?
He says he comes over to me like a week later. He's
Yeah.
like, "So, how hard would you really going?" I said, "What you mean?" He said, "That was like good work." I said, "Yeah, he's a good boxer, you know."
You're retired now, so let's talk about it a little bit. Not details.
Tank is.
I held a scorecard in my head.
I said I described Tank. That's funny. I describe Tank as one of the sharpest fighters I've been in the ring with.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is you could see he's very intuitive. He's very intelligent in the ring. He paces himself very well. He's very confident in who he is and what he does. He's not going to be rattled like practically at all. You know what I mean? The jab has got speed. He's got power. He's got strength. He's got dog. He is literally like one of the sharpest fighters I've been in the ring with. He's the type of fighter Barry will yell something to him and he'll make a quick adjustment. And it's one of those adjustments where it happens like on the spot. So like as Barry is finishing his sentence or finishing what he wants him to do, he's boom, boom on it. You know what I mean? So just let you know that the dude has everything in and out of the ring, like he is who he is.
Which is very important to note because he's gotten kind of a stigma as just this huge puncher. That he's not the most
he got
technical
skills.
boxer, not the most skilled boxer. This is not me saying this. This is people saying this.
Yeah.
Oh, he was losing to Leo Santa Cruz and Barrios and then iced him at some point. You're saying completely untrue. He's a very skilled technical boxer.
I think his coach has
And
gotten
his
him
boxing
to
IQ.
I think his coach has gotten him to a point where like his coach always says, we don't go in the ring for a knockout. The knockout
It'll
knockout
happen.
just happens
Yeah.
and the knockout just comes. I think that he's still, even though he's been a multi-champion now, I think he's still learning and he's still growing. You know what I mean? So there's gonna come a point where we'll start to see him use more jabs to set up certain punches, and we'll see him boxing a little bit more than we're used to seeing him box, simply to set up that knockout. I think in the past, especially, I think with the 140 Barrios, I think that he literally was not rattled, but just worried about the size. And I think he had to get in there and have that experience for him to say, oh, okay, 140 is nothing for me. You know what I mean? But he had to experience that for himself. I think in a rematch, he gets on Barrios much quicker. He's much more elusive, and the list goes on. I saw that even with me. He's very elusive in the ring. You know what I mean?
Coordination. Some of the best coordination.
Yeah,
in
man.
boxing.
DC's finest.
Yeah, he's coordinated.
He's from Baltimore. They're going to kill you. for
Yeah,
that.
you're right. They actually are. Yeah,
that's a serious
Baltimore's
contention.
finest.
Yeah.
No, you're
Shout out to
right.
B-more.
Yeah.
Lots of crab chips, but
Yeah. And let me say real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
I call California LA.
Yeah.
My wife hates it.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I call that area Maryland. I call Maryland DC. So my bad. I know there's a difference. You know.
Are there some similarities between Tank and Bud?
Yes.
I think the parallel that I was seeing in my head is that sometimes they may not be technically doing exactly what they need to do, not what they need to do, but to be winning rounds, but they're setting something up. And I think they're two of the best closers in boxing.
It seems like Tank and Terrence both are the kind of guys that if something doesn't go the way that they want it to in that round, they just say, oh, okay, I'll get it in the next round. And they make a mental adjustment. They make a physical adjustment. They do something to really just make that next round or those next rounds what they need them to be and want them to be. It's nothing extreme, and it's nothing. And in a lot of ways, it's nothing that their opponents can do about it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think
Can
that there
happen
were
either way.
Yeah, I think that there were moments in the fight where I had with Terrence where I was looking at him in his eyes, and I could see in his mind I want to take control, and like while I'm trying to take it away from him, he kept coming with whatever it was he wanted to do, and that's just something that's a talent. It really is. It's something you can't
IQ
And
for
the
both.
mentality.
and you can't teach that. You know, so.
And it'll be interesting to see. So he fights Isak Cruz, who is not like we've seen with Leo Santa Cruz and Barrios, where they're bigger guys that
This is
fighting
completely different.
fighting on the back foot,
Yeah.
trying to outbox him.
Yeah.
Isak Cruz is not that guy.
Yeah.
At all.
Yeah.
He's the opposite. He's
Yeah.
gonna be walking him down. It's gonna be interesting to see how Tank adjusts to that.
It'd be interesting to see how
I
Tank
suspect
adjusts to that.
he'll walk him right into something.
I would agree.
It's never, no matter how much power you got, it's not. It's always something coming your way when the guy's throwing heat like Cruz is, and he's going to be coming forward.
Yeah.
He's more fundamentally sound than Romero was. I still think Romero was a more dangerous fight because his size and awkwardness. But I just think ultimately this guy's going to walk into a bomb.
The camp thinks that Cruz is the more dangerous fight.
The camp.
And I agree. I agree
He's
because
been through more.
Well, I think Cruz is just much more fundamentally sound.
Yeah.
I think that Cruz has a higher work rate, and the fact that he's coming with a more conventional style, a more conventional approach, it gives Tank the opportunity to see what's coming. But it's coming with a lot of explosion and a lot of speed and quickness. I think with Romero, it was going to be more spurts,
Just
more sporadic.
Just for shits and giggles, and because we've been wrong about multiple fights recently.
Don't say we.
Okay, even Spartan blood guy. How does Cruz give him trouble or beat him?
That's it. You put something on. It's like the bully. You got to bully the bully.
Okay, just back him up.
Punching him in the face.
No, I make it sound. The funny thing
Key
though
to
is
the fight, punch him in the face.
in the body.
I know I made it sound easy, but for Cruz, that is his type of fight.
Yeah.
So I think that
Work rate.
I think that the work rate. I think that staying on him, and then of course being responsible on defense is key for Cruz.
Have we seen Tank really rocked? What's up, buddy? We just on
No.
every episode now.
Yeah, no.
Can we hear the Porter way? Say it.
I can't think of.
There you go.
Okay, out.
You look good, man. You look like you're about to go on a yacht party.
This was church clothes for myself.
It looks pretty sharp. You look like you're about to go on a boat, play bocce ball.
Did you watch the fights last night, Shaddai?
He was in and out.
Yeah.
All right, out.
All right, bye.
I need a question.
Okay, what's the question? We're almost done.
Why are you dangerous?
Oh man, I'm a dangerous man, ain't I?
Woke up feeling dangerous. Hopefully the Browns have won by the time you're hearing this. But
So I mean, and let's end on this note.
have we seen Tank really hit with a big shot that I'm maybe not thinking of?
Not in a pro fight.
Yeah.
I feel like Leo landed some stuff that
did.
was that didn't really necessarily rattle him, but got his attention.
Well, Leo also is not known for his power.
Yeah, very
but,
true.
But have we seen anyone like? I'm trying to think of the Pedraza. Did he?
No. Actually, the Filipino fighter on the undercard at Mayweather McGregor gave him some problems.
Payano?
Forenzas, I think was his name. Michael Forenzas.
Yeah.
But
I'm just wondering. I don't think it happens, but it'll be interesting to see. Maybe another box we can check if Tank gets hit with some stuff.
if he can take some of Tank's power and stand and deliver, then we got to fight. You
said before,
But
Isak
I don't know
Cruz
if
built like a
anyone.
fire
I think
hydrant,
we
man.
gotta fight.
Yeah.
We gotta fight. This is gonna be a good fight.
Cruz is almost similar to Figueroa in that extent, where he's going to keep coming forward, so there's not going to be a boring round.
Yeah.
Where he's like, I'm just going to be on my feet this round and move around. He's just going to keep coming forward.
Yeah.
So I think Tank knocks him out. Fundora's back in the undercard.
Always fun to watch.
Tall guy, doesn't use his height, pisses me off. But
Chin is totally out there, but
yeah,
he's throwing heat.
Chin's out there. He's 7'3" and doesn't use his height. But
What is it called? A 4-3 when you throw your uppercut and then follow it up with the hook.
Yeah, some people got the 4-3.
He throws some
also
really good
Sean's 40
4-3s.
time.
I like that about Fundora. Yeah, he throws some really good 4-3s.
Gervonta's back. But yeah, should be another good weekend of boxing. This last one was good. the main events didn't time up to cross each other, which I felt good about.
One thing I was surprised about with Gervonta, we got to talk with him a couple of days ago for his media day. I think it was the day before Thanksgiving. And when we asked him about sparring you, I was surprised at how much it did for him. No, that how much it did for him. You know, we on the exterior, Gervonta seemed so confident in this killer, but he opened up and he said, like, I knew I could always be at that level, and when I got to spar Shawn, it just reiterated that to me. But it was kind of surprised at his vulnerability that he'd admit.
It sure sounds like he got the best of you, to be honest.
I thought that he expressed that when he fought Barrios,
right?
Or maybe I saw and heard something that he didn't actually say, but it seemed like he was like, in a nutshell, it seemed like he literally legitimately was worried about the size and if he could perform at that weight class. And it wasn't until after the fight that he calmed down, was like, I'm good at 140. And I think the same thing. I think being in the ring with me, we were kind of tossing each other around a little bit. And,
he said you're strong as hell, I remember.
Yeah, I was grabbing him up a little bit here and there. But I think that when you grab him and then he's able to get up out of it and all that kind of stuff, you answer things about yourself, man. And, boxing it's a special sport,
Yeah, I feel like Isak Cruz is going to go to sleep at some point in this one. But
Tank says he feels like he's expecting the uppercut. Cruz is. Because I feel like that was my first inkling. Was,
you can expect
you're going to come forward that, and he said, nah, he's looking for that.
Yeah.
So maybe it's the body.
You could be looking for it, prepared for it, and
right.
It's still not gonna matter when he.
Barry Hunter brought in 2 guys for me to spar with. He brought in Niche.
Is it Kid Austin?
No. I did end up sparring with him though.
Yeah.
Shout out to Barry, by the way.
Right.
Amazing trainer.
One of the best boxing minds in the game.
I'm losing his name, and I know he's gonna be so mad at me because I know he
was a
watches the
Scooter.
show too. No, the tall southpaw.
Nasheed, yeah.
I don't know
yeah,
Nasheed's last name. What's up, Nasheed? But Nasheed comes in.
Townsend? No.
First day he's sparring with me, he's throwing a left uppercut. And dang. And when the sparring was over, I was like, okay, so now you gotta make sure that you're aware of this left uppercut that's coming. And
Forgot about that on the 20th. But
and then because I'm going somewhere. And then same thing with Tank. Tank threw some uppercuts, and I was able to leave a lot of the uppercuts that Tank had thrown, but he did land a couple as well. And it was like, yo, that left uppercut is coming. In the fight, the first left uppercut that came, it was like sparring, just right all over again. It's like, don't forget about that left uppercut, So sparring is necessary, and as long as you get really good sparring, you should be ready for anything that happens in the ring.
So I'm going to ask you this. This is a juicy one. I don't know if you're going to be able to tell me the answer, but it was only 16-ounce gloves, right? But does he punch as hard or even harder than Crawford?
No, I can't compare him to Crawford, but
right.
He's definitely strong. He's definitely strong and explosive too.
you also said you're going to open the show with your favorite memory. So now I think you should close the show with your favorite memory.
Ah, damn, I wouldn't think about that.
Off the top, what's just like somebody's like, hey, what was the bet your favorite moment as a professional boxer?
In the ring?
Yeah.
In the ring, right?
I'm not sure what outside the ring would possibly be. Commentating?
I got 2.
Okay.
I got 2. I never really talk much like during fights. But going back to Andre Berto, somehow, some way, we got into some conversation during our fights, So that's one of them. And then the other one, I remember a move that I've worked on for almost ever. Throw a jab and then you pivot to the side. And same thing with Andre Berto. I threw the jab, and when I pivoted to the side, he tried to counter my jab with a hook and missed. And I ended up like completely behind him. And I was like, woo! Because I knew like, had he not thrown a hook, he was like in perfect position for the move that I had set up. Yeah. And once it happened and all that, we came back together. He said, yo, that was a good ass move. I said, I know it was. So those are 2 of my favorites.
You were just having a good time in the Andre Berto fight.
Yeah.
I thought he might have given you like stock market tips because apparently Andre Berto's paid.
Also, Andre Berto, one of my favorite quotes to you, back when Andre Berto was the guy.
Yeah, man.
We were in my parents' basement. I told Shawn, matter what you do in boxing, Andre Berto will always be my favorite fighter.
That's what he said. That's what he said.
He was phenomenal when he was undefeated.
Love Andre Berto. Hope Andre Berto's doing well.
I wonder what I always wonder what would have happened if that Shane Mosley fight would have went off. I think he would have won that fight. And who knows, maybe he gets the Mayweather fight instead of Mosley. And,
Right.
But we just, always wonder.
Shout out to Andre Berto.
Absolutely. One of the best physical talents I've seen.
Biggest traps in boxing history.
Yeah. He was a freak.
Yeah.
My dad said, I don't know how he ever made 147.
Oh my gosh. Like the rest of his body is yoked up, but his damn traps, man, that dude's something serious.
Now you mentioned, it's like, wow, you stopped Andre Berto.
Yeah.
That's a great win.
A lot of headbutts and elbows.
Did anyone else stop
A
him?
lot of everything.
I know Guerrero, Ortiz, and Floyd didn't do it.
What's his name did?
He's
He's a Mexican fighter.
I know he
Josecito?
stopped Josecito.
No.
Yeah,
not Josecito.
Berto stopped him.
What's his name? Remember he comes out trying
Only
to do
we had a
shoulder
producer that could bring up this list.
No, that's kind of supposed to be
box
my
rep?
job, and I'm not.
Yeah, what the hell? Yeah, I bet you
sorry.
Iceman Scully would know.
He would. John would know.
Now
He would. I'm not gonna lie. He would know. Shawn Porter. Wait. We're about to find out. I was right.
No.
It wasn't Robert Guerrero. They went the distance.
Jesus Soto
damn.
Cruz.
Soto Carras.
That dude fought everyone. I'm shocked
Soto
he didn't
Carras.
fight Soto Cruz or something.
I was like, I don't want to fight him, but
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna fight.
That dude, he just popped up like the boogeyman. all
Marco
the time.
Antonio Barrera got the better of him in an exhibition recently. That's how bad Barrera was.
Man.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Well,
Bye. And we'll be back next week. We have more boxing coming up.
just ended on the box.
Can I keep the mic though? Does he have to get the mic back?
No, you don't
Okay,
get to
good.
keep the mic. See y'all later. That's just the Porter way. What's up? I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Ed. Follow me on IG, Ed with 2 T's.
This is the Porter Way podcast. This is Anthony Brunel, and this is Carson Merk. Tell them what to do.
Hey, like, subscribe, comment, follow us on all social media platforms.
Subscribe.
I'm from Louisiana. I'll talk with a B. Let's do it. Let's do it again. Let's
All
do it.
right, just introduce yourself.
Okay.
And then tell them, and then you tell them what to do.
Like, comment, subscribe.
Porter Way podcast.
You're already here.
Hey, this is our outro. We're gonna do it how we want to.
I'm Showtime Shawn Porter.
I'm Anthony Brendel.
Carson A. Merk. Like, subscribe, comment.
This is the Porter Way.